Welcome to Hot Topics in International Trade, brought to you by Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Bob Brewer with Braumiller Law Group. Today I'm going to start my sessions of Deep Thoughts by Bob. Regarding the world of international trade, of course, and sometimes just about the world in general, quite frankly. Although I tend to digress quite often, as a matter of fact. But today, what's on my mind is China. Monday, President Xi and President Biden are actually going to meet face-to-face at the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia. November 15th, 16th, that'll date this podcast a little bit, but this is what's on my mind because prior, there are other major world summits in Southeast Asia that the president's attending. That's going to be in Phnom Penh and Bangkok. And then between the U.S. and China making their pitch globally for security, it's time for those out there to pretty much pick sides, I guess, at this juncture. Can you imagine how short that conversation is going to be between President Xi and President Biden? I don't know. It possibly could be just a fist bump and a monosyllabic grunt, possibly. There's a great deal to talk about, but nobody's talking anymore. All the lines of communication are down. It's a shame. I mean, the two largest economies are at odds on several issues, yet our worlds are so closely intertwined. I mean, it's imperative that dialogue takes place. You know, fact is, we probably never will see eye to eye on many things. I'm talking about including, even on the trade landscape, forced labor, intellectual property theft, cyber theft. There's a host of other accusations where there's fact to back it up, though. That's an ongoing problem. Xi's tired of the unilateral decisions, quite frankly, that he feels the West has been making on behalf of the rest of the world. I mean, we get it. And he feels pretty confident, quite frankly, that he can chart a course for world dominance, and he really doesn't need the West in order to do that, to make that happen. Militarily speaking, I think that he has to give further thought, quite frankly, to the potential of the invasion of Taiwan, simply based on what he's seen with what many would call Putin's failures, his miscalculations. What lessons has he learned? Hopefully, one is how united the front of the various nations, are on display still to this juncture in the war, on behalf of a sovereign nation that was invaded. And don't get me started on that article within NATO. I say NATO schmato. It never should have happened in the first place. Just never should have happened. It never should have been allowed to happen, quite frankly. But Xi gives this potential invasion time. I wanted to give it some deep thought, not just deep thoughts with Bob, but Xi to give it some deep thought. And in the meantime, I'd like to say this. Breathe deep, the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. Bed-setted people look back and lament another day's useless energy spent. Impassioned lovers wrestle as one, but lonely man cries for love and has none. New mother picks up and settles her son. Senior citizens wish they were young. Cold-hearted orb who rules the night removes the colors from our sight. For red is gray and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion. Graham Edge, the Moody Blues drummer, wrote that. May he rest in peace. Thanks for stopping in. Goodbye. Relax. We've got you covered. Global trade compliance to us is just another day at the beach.